Good morning, folks. This old Twerking Monkey here. This morning we're going to do something a little different than we've been doing. We're going to do some eggs this morning. We talk about the incredible edible egg. Well, this morning, folks, we're going to show you how country folks make what is known as deviled eggs. Now, boiled eggs, folks, go back to the time of the Roman Empire. Now, they made deviled eggs back then, but they didn't make them like we do today. And as we've told you in previous videos, that a lot of recipes that we have today have been handed down from generation to generation. Well, this is one of those recipes. When the Romans made this recipe, they boiled their eggs and then they added spices and made them a very spicy type of edible egg. And yet at the same time, they developed a thing that was called from eggs to apples, or from the beginning to the end. Well, today we're going to do eggs, boiled eggs to deviled eggs. And in doing so, we will show you how to not only boil those eggs to get a perfect egg, but we'll also show you how to break the shell on those eggs so that that egg comes out perfect every time without all of the little tear-ups and stuff that you get into. So we'll get into that right after this, folks. Hi folks, we're back in the kitchen. We're going to show you this morning how to boil these eggs and talk to you a little bit about these eggs. Now we got here, over here, we've got 6 eggs. We will place them in this pot right here. Then we're going to add enough water in here to cover these eggs. I want to add a little bit of salt to this water. That kind of helps to toughen up that eggshell. And as we're now, folks, we're going to bring this water up to a boil, and once we bring it up to a boil, we're going to let it be at a hard rolling boil for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then we're going to turn the heat off and put a lid on that. Now what that's going to do, folks, that's going to cook that egg perfectly. Some of you in cooking eggs have overcooked it and your yolk in that egg gets green around it. That's because of the fact that it's an overcooked boiled egg. And sometimes that green can make the dish that you're preparing off-colored, or it can also make that yolk taste bad. So today we want to show you how to do that and not have that green. So folks, we're going to wait till this water comes up to a boil, and then we'll be right back. If you look right here in this pot is at a rolling boil, and it has been boiling that way for about 4 minutes now. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this off. We're going to put a lid on that pot and let it sit for about 11 minutes. Now folks, we want to keep all that steam in there because that's what's going to finish cooking this egg, so that we don't have all of that green, but we have a good solid yolk. So once that's done, folks, we'll be back. Okay folks, it's been about 11 minutes since we put that lid on this pot over here. Now what we're going to do here, folks, we're going to take this lid off, let that steam out of there. We're going to set this pot over here. We're going to pour that hot water off of those eggs. Just like that, folks. Tell me how to use that pot to keep those eggs from rolling out of there. Get all that cold water off. Now, folks, at this point, a lot of folks put these eggs in a ice bath and all of that to shock that egg. Well, Monkey found a way to not have to go through all of that. So what Monkey does is runs a little bit of regular cold water in him to cool those eggs down some. And once they cool down in that water, in that cold water there, we'll take those eggs and utilize a total different system that Monkey learned a long time ago. Now, folks, we're going to get a bottle of water out of this refrigerator right here. This is cold water. We're going to do a shock system on this. We're going to use, right here, folks, we're going to use a mason jar. Now, some folks don't know about this, but this little trick that Ole Monkey learned a long time ago. And in learning this, it has been a lifesaver. Now, we're going to take this cold water, folks. We'll put it in this jar right here. Fill that jar up just about right there, because you want a little bit of room to be able to shake it. Now, folks, we're going to take this egg right here. Now that it's cooled down a little bit, we're going to slide it right in that jar right there. Alright? And then we're going to close that up. We're just going to shake that egg back in two. What that does, folks, that puts that egg into a shock, but it also will crack that shell on there. And folks, when we take that egg out of there, that shell will slide right off of that egg. Alright, folks, that shell is broke all the way around right there, and it should slide right off of there without any problem. There we go. See how easy that's coming off of there, folks? Coming off of there in one whole big piece. Ain't cutting up that egg or nothing like that. There you go, folks. And there's your hard-boiled egg. We're gonna finish up these eggs, and then we'll be right back. Alright, folks, we got those eggs peeled, and we're back over here now. And what you're going to need to make these deviled eggs is, of course, eggs. And these are, as you can see, all of them are perfectly peeled by using that method that we just showed you. You're going to need some mustard. You're going to need some mayo. You're going to need some pickle relish. And you're going to need some paprika. And when we fix these eggs, folks, this will be the way that they were fixed when Ole Monkey was growing up. Alright, folks, we're going to put this all together and show you what this looks like. First thing you want to do, folks, and I like to do it like this, catch it right here. You're going to slice these eggs in two, just like that. Now, folks, I want you to look at that yolk right there. See that yolk right there? Watch this. I'm going to drop that yolk out of there. Come on, yolk. Come out of there. Well, now that yolk ain't coming out. There we go. Now look at the back side of that, folks. See, you ain't got all that green on there. That's because that egg was perfectly cooked. Folks, I'm going to take that yolk out of there, just like that. We're going to lay that over there on that plate. Look at that yolk, folks. Perfect. Just perfect. Ain't got all that old dark green around it. Looking good right there. We're going to do another one here, folks. I'm sure you understand how this is done. We're just going to do one more to show you. Right there. Just like that. See that yolk, how pretty that yolk is, folks? Now look right here. See there? And we're going to do one more right there. That yolk came out perfect right there. Scrape a little of that out of there. That yolk wants to stay a little bit in there. Let's get a little of that. There we go. All right, folks. What you want to do next is you want to mash these yolks up kind of fine. Get them all mashed up there, just like that. Once we get them all mashed up, we're going to start adding our ingredients in there. Alright, there we go, folks. You want them mashed up about like that right there. They're going to break on down as you mix all your ingredients together. Now, folks, we was talking about those perfect eggs. There's a reason for that. You know, back in my day, you had a church gathering. The ladies of the church would take and fix up deviled eggs, take to the church. Well, at our church it didn't matter, but there were some churches that didn't call these deviled eggs because of the fact that it had the word devil in it. No sirree, they didn't want nothing to do with that because they was at the church. So they called them stuffed eggs. Alright, folks, we got all of those ingredients in there, and we're going to take this and just start mixing all this in. Get all this yolk mixed up with this ingredients we just put in there. Folks, we put mayonnaise, we put some mustard in there, and we put some pickle relish in there. Now, folks, you don't want this to be real soupy. You want it to be like a paste for it to work right. So you just want to keep mixing it around and mixing all those ingredients up real good into this mixture. That paprika you see sitting over there, folks, that paprika is to finish these eggs out. And you'll see that in just a few minutes. Alright, folks, let Ole Monkey get some of this stuff here out of his way. And we're going to start putting this mixture into these eggshells right here. Now, folks, you want to put that in there about like that right there. Just a little good spoonful right there. Right in there. Now, some of these may get a little bit more than others, but you still fill that cavity up in that egg. And if you got some left over, you can come back and touch up those that don't have quite enough in them. Alright, folks, there you go. Now we want to take some of this is smoked paprika right here. And doesn't matter about the brand name on it. I'm not into brands and stuff like that. I just know that this is a good quality here. We want to sprinkle a little of that paprika on here, folks. Make these eggs look a little prettier. Give them a little bit of a smoky flavor there, which is real good. Alright, folks. There you have it, folks. Get a close-up of that right there. How y'all like that? Bet y'all want some of that, don't you? Yes, sir. Ole Monkey, he gonna do his taste test on these, see what these taste like. You know, Ole Monkey, he make these sometime, and they don't last long around him. They get gone pretty fast. So, here we go, folks. Here we go. Look at that. That's plumb pretty, folks. Mmm. Folks, you can't mess up a deviled egg. It's just hard to do. And I'm telling you folks, that right there is good. Now folks, we appreciate you watching. And remember, we love you. And y'all come see us now. You hear?